Hello, it is Tuesday, May 10th at 8:10 p.m. This is my 2022. This is my video journal. Today's journal is brought to you by Bacardi Rum. I'm wearing my Bacardi bandana I got back in college for free at a bar as a piece of swag to promote their business. Also drinking a LaCroix. So before I get into the meat and potatoes, I have some housekeeping things I want to run through. Congratulations to the newest member of the Neon Grouse Screen Printing and Embroidery Shop. A lady, a person out of the Philippines who is going to be doing our paperwork. Congratulations, you're on payroll before I got on payroll, but I did get a link to get on the payroll today, so I'm going to try to fill that out tonight. Yeah, so congrats. We've got a new member of the Neon Grouse team. Speaking of which, as a courtesy, because I feel like I'm hoping my magnet business takes off here in the next couple months. As a courtesy to Nick, I offered to work the night shift starting after July so that he could hire a full-time daylight employee. I'm sure someone would like a fixed shift from 8 to 4 or 7 to 3. So I offered to come in at 2 or 3 and work until 10. Just because he's helped out so much, and I'm hoping that during the day I'll have time to work on my magnet business and that he can get a good full-time employee and I can transition to just doing sales and magnet sales. So if you're looking to infiltrate the Neon Grouse, he will be hiring a full-time daylight position in the next coming months. So come work with me, I guess, doing embroidery in a tiny shop with a really shitty bathroom. Anyhow, I want to talk about my peace treaty, how I'm going to make that public. And here's why I've kept it secret on an invisible page on my Plotline website for so long. My thinking was that if the gun manufacturing companies figure out that I'm going to make smart compressed air paintball dueling pistol guns, and that my goal is to move into smart weapons that lock out near schools, hospitals, churches, that they would buy up all the patents, they would pass all the patents for these type of weapons, these compressed air dueling pistols, and sit on them so that I could not develop a compressed air dueling pistol. But if I go, my thought process has changed, so I wanted to keep it secret so that I could find an engineer to help me develop the patents and develop these dueling pistols. Then I can offer them the way I want to offer them to indigenous tribes and specific militaries that help out. My thought process has changed slightly. Because if I make the treaty public and enough military personnel from a specific country like the United States sign or click the treaty, sign the treaty, and the military has to acknowledge that this is how people want to transition modern warfare away from fighting in cities with semi-automatic and automatic weapons to pistol duels and wrestling matches. That's how we're going to fight wars now. You still have the weapons like nuclear weapons and things like that, so that you can mount a full-scale traditional war if you needed to. But we can start to tear down those weapons, and once every nation in the world agrees on this type of world warfare. So that's also bad news for weapons manufacturers. They're not going to like that. They're going to go try to pass these patents, I think. But if the military acknowledges it and that's what they want to do, and we can work with the military, or if I was president of the United States, the military could then work with the manufacturers of their AR-15 and say, look, if you want this government contract to provide all of our weapons, you have to release the patents to your trigger mechanisms and any kind of patents that Mitch Miller can use to form his dueling pistol company to him and only to him, so he can develop dueling pistols. And then these dueling pistols with radio sync up that locks out the trigger could have the same type of triggers that the United States military's standard issue weapon has, or the German military, or the Lithuanian military, or the Brazilian military. Can be done anywhere in the world. They can develop their own dueling pistols with a standard requirement of PSI, things like that, so that they all shoot pretty much the same. So that's why I'm going to make this document public and do it on the summer solstice. So watch for that on the Mitch for Mayor website. That being said, so I think it would be interesting if I were President of the United States, because I would actually participate in the wrestling matches with the troops. I would train with the troops, I would wrestle with the troops, and I would challenge other leaders to wrestling matches, because I'm not allowed to own a weapon. I haven't been able to fire a firearm for 13 years. I'm out of practice with guns, but I still have my wrestling moves. So I think there'd be some good sports out there. This is a way of promoting many of the things I've proposed. I think we could find some good sports like Justin Trudeau or Emmanuel Macron, who would take me up on a wrestling match, and the terms would be wrestling match. If I win, they have to seed money for their own Periscope platform in their country. So in France or Canada, they have to seed the money to develop their own Periscope platform where politicians are transparent, show every schedule they have with every meeting, with who they're meeting with, including lobbyists, keep a podcast about their daily activities, and put up topics for vote. So this is a way to spread the Periscope platform in other countries. So if I win the wrestling match, they have to seed money for that. If I lose the wrestling match, they have their terms, their requests for what they want the United States to do. And if they refuse the wrestling match, and this is where my girl Levy Tran, sorry, I forget which one I wrote in the book and which one's her actual name, Levy Tran, if she went and got those patents for those garments, I haven't forgot about you. And the lady in the Philippines, you're part of this too, but if the leader refuses, if Trudeau refuses, if Macron refuses the wrestling match, then we make Richard Potato t-shirts with their face and image on it. The Dictator t-shirts. And sales of the t-shirt proceeds go to expanding Periscope in their country. So there's that. Also, the wrestling match could be televised. There'd be 3 2-minute periods with 30 seconds or a minute break in between each period. That would allow for 2 or 4 commercials. 1 or 2 30-second or 2 or 4 15-second commercials. The funds from that revenue would go towards promoting Periscope in other countries, either founding their own version of Periscope or expanding it, the United States version, which we're going to fund through my campaign money. So I think it's a good idea if we find some good sports that'll solve things with the wrestling match. We're showing other countries that this is how we're going to do things. We're entering this peace treaty, and this is how we're going to solve our issues with wrestling matches or non-lethal pistol duels. And if we televise it, then other countries can see it, and they can say, why are we killing each other? Why don't we solve things the civilized and honorable way, like these EU nations that Mitch has challenged, or Canada, or Mexico? I don't think Joe Biden's going to do that. I don't think Donald Trump's going to do that. But I'll do it. So vote for me for President of the United States. We'll have an interesting period of history, 4 or 8 years of interesting, innovative, and amazing things. So that's my proposal. Contact me if you'd like. I mean, even if I'm not elected president, on the campaign trail for president, I could challenge these people to wrestling matches to promote my campaign and to promote the peace treaty. So watch for that. Thanks for watching. Vote for Mitch. If you're in the military, sign the treaty, and let's make this world make sense instead of the insanity and the sociopaths that will run it. You know, some people might say, why would we elect a schizophrenic man to the presidency? I'll say, well, the world's been run by sociopaths for the past 2,000 years. And they haven't done a very good job. There's been all kinds of war and torture and all kinds of atrocities. So maybe you should kick out the sociopaths and allow someone else that's neurodiverse in leadership position. See how it works.